Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got an old standby, the Glock 17, and the new kid on the block, the Springfield Echelon. Please don't forget to check out our website. Go to our affiliates page. You'll find discount codes for things like Mantis Axe and Core belts. Link to that cool little bore light that we use for lighting up the barrels. Use those links. It will often save you money, never will cost you any additional money, and helps the channel. And please consider supporting the channel on Player, formerly Utreon, where we can do some types of videos that are no longer allowed on YouTube. The Glock 17 was one of the earliest successful duty pistols in polymer. It's been around for a very long time. This is a Gen 4. The latest iteration as of the making of this video is Gen 5. In fact, you can't get the Gen 4s anymore civilian. They're LE only. They're trying to phase them out. But the Gen 5 is very similar. It's got a few minor nuances, but fundamentally it's a similar gun. The Echelon, on the other hand, is the latest of technology. It has a replaceable, or not a replaceable, but an interchangeable chassis in here, similar to the SIG P320. Without any tools, you can pull that chassis out and put it in another grip frame. There are 3 grip frame sizes currently available, small, medium, and large, and they're all in this full-size duty pistol format. But there's nothing that would stop Springfield from coming up with subcompacts, Glock 19 sizes, compacts. The sky's the limit on what they can do with it because the chassis sits kind of back here. So it doesn't really limit the overall shortness that they can accomplish. Everything in front of that could be trimmed off. I don't know what Springfield's plans are. I'm not inside, I'm not privy to that. But from a technical perspective, the sky's the limit of what they could do with this. Whether or not they'll go into the really small may vary because the Hellcat's there, and it kind of fits that role. So if I go back to putting the two side by side, physically they're very close in dimensions. The Glock is 7.95, the Springfield is 8, length front to back. 5.47 tall for the Glock with the flush mag, 5.5 with the Springfield. The Glock has a width of 1.34 and the Springfield 1.2. And that is a big difference. The Springfield is noticeably thinner, kind of going along the lines of going in the direction of what the Hellcat would be. And even in the Gen 5, the Glock hasn't gotten any thinner. The basic format of the gun hasn't changed. Both of these, as you see them here, are really positioned as duty pistols, home defense, range guns, things like that. The Glock is available in both, even in Gen 5, with or without the optics ready capability. The Springfield is optics ready. All of the versions of the Echelon are optics ready. Now this particular Echelon that I've got in my hand has the medium frame. It is available with a small and a large. And I looked at their website today. All of the accessories for this are listed on their website. A couple of them are pre-order, like the grip frames are going to be available in August. But most of the stuff is readily available today. And that's one of the big things that Springfield tends to do better with their launches than most of the other manufacturers. A lot of manufacturers show it, they'll take it to SHOT Show, they'll show it off, or they'll do pre-releases and the videos will be out, and then maybe 3 or 4 months later you can get it. This was in the stores the day of the release, and most of the accessories, including magazines, are available. A couple of, I think the 20-round magazine showed out of stock, but that's probably just from demand. But overall, if you pick one of these up, you're going to be able to get grip frames. You're going to be able to get the various pieces you need. One of the things that's different on the Optics Ready, so again, the Glock is available in MOS, that's Glock's Optics Ready, and it comes with the plates. Comes in the box with the plates. This doesn't come with any plates, but that's not a bad thing. It doesn't need them. There's over 30 red dots that will mount directly. There's a set of pins you set in holes in here, and there's, of those 30 or more red dots, they'll just mount directly. That gives you the advantage of mounting the red dot very low, which gives you very good, clear co-witness. You don't have to mess with the sights. You don't need suppressor height sights. Because the optic isn't sitting on a plate, it's down there low, normal height sights will co-witness nicely with it. That is an advantage. The MOS system does sit on plates. There are a couple plates available for the Echelon for non-standard formats, and they are on their website. But most of the current production ones that are on a kind of the common footprint, they're just going to mount. You set the pins and go. That's something that I wish a lot of manufacturers would actually do. It really kind of steps up the game because nothing's worse than picking out an optic and finding out you need a such and such plate for it and it's going to take you 2 or 3 weeks to get it. With the Glock, you don't run into that either because they comes with the plates for all the red dots that it's going to support. So both of them are good in that regard. But I would say the Echelon's kind of got it beat with the lower mounting position. There's some significant styling and ergonomic differences between them. From a rail perspective, the Glock has a single slot rail and there's a 4-slot rail on the Echelon. That's not really a big problem. The market has well adapted to that single rail on the Glocks, and pretty much everything will fit interchangeably. The Gen 5 Glock does have front serrations, but they're basically the same as the rear ones. The Echelon has really angled serrations, and it has this contoured valley that you come into that acts like a shelf. So if you're going to do a press check, it's very easy to get a hold of it and keep your hands away from the action where you might get bit. And it has that same concept at the back. So you have the standard serrations, and then it goes into a well right here, which acts as a wing. But the nice thing about it, I've seen guns with wings before, but they stick out past the slide. In this case, the wings don't stick out past the slide. They're just kind of part of it, and the slide fades in to make them happen. Makes it really easy to get a hold of. Both of them have replaceable back straps. They both come with 3. The Glock actually, the frame is one of the back straps. With the Echelon, you have to put one of them on. This grip frame came with the medium back strap on it. It's a medium grip frame. The textures are different, but both are functional. You have these little pyramids on the Glock, and you've kind of got a sandpaper pattern on the Springfield. So both of them stay well in your hands, but the Springfield takes it up a notch. Notice on the Glock, everything else is smooth. On the Springfield, you've got various indexing points. At various points where when you get a hold of it, not only can you make sure your thumb's in the right place, I've got a place to put my finger. So a lot of ergonomics are improved. Both of them on the Gen 5s, Glocks, as well as the Springfield, have ambidextrous slide stop slide release. The Glock, the magazine catch is reversible without having to buy any parts, but the Springfield, it's ambi right out of the box. So a lot of the things that the Glock has kind of caught up with over time, the Springfield is coming out of the gate ready to go. Triggers, the Glock has your standard Glock curve trigger with inertial toggle, and I'm going to cycle it. Kind of a decent short take up, crisp wall, short reset, you're right on the wall, and then the break. On the Springfield, this has a trigger that rivals the PPQ. It's kind of a flatty trigger with an inertial toggle, really soft take up, ultra light, short, crisp break, and a nice short reset. That was the entire reset. I'm right on the wall, and then the crisp break again. The trigger is nicer than the Glock, even if you were to update the Glock with the updated minus connector. This comes close to as I mentioned, the PPQ, which is also the PDP has replaced the PPQ from Walther. And if you happen to hear noise in the background, that's not a dump truck. Of course, we're in Central Florida, and it is decided that it's time for a thunderstorm. But ignoring that, the guns that I'm looking at here, the Echelon is really kind of stepped up the game beyond what the Glock is capable of. And I like Glocks, I really do. But this Echelon is kind of hard to ignore. The Glock has U-dot sights. They're bright white sights. Tritium night sights are available for the Glock. The Echelon has U-dot as well. It's just the U square on the Glock, and it's round on the Echelon. It has a front fiber optic tritium sight, and the rear is just white U. You can get this with full tritium night sights. So it has night sights, nice sights. And again, if you buy the MOS version of the Glock, you can get the optics ready capability. Both of these are comfortable to hold. They're reliable. The Springfield is new. It worked from the first round till we were done with it, and not a single malfunction. Glocks kind of have a proven track record. Both of them have the inertial toggle. Both of them have the internal drop safety, so both of these are drop safe weapons. And though there isn't a long track record with the Echelon, the Springfields in general, the XDMs and the others, have proven to be drop safe. And I just realized too, when I kind of was showing the size, I had them with the Springfield on top and the Glock at the back. I'm going to flip it around so that you can see the other representation, because then the red dot is behind. But what you'll see is, from a dimensions perspective, length and height, they're almost identical. So we've kind of covered reliability. I believe both of these are reliable, the Glock known, and then Springfield proved itself so far. From a shooting perspective, I found the Springfield more comfortable to shoot and easier to get back on target than the Glock. And I like Glocks, I really do. But between the two, I would enjoy shooting the Echelon actually a little bit more than the Glock 17. I think the technology has moved. Glock has kind of stayed where they are, and Springfield is kind of coming in at the latest. From a pricing perspective, you might think that technology is going to be expensive. If I go apples to apples, all the Springfields are MOS, they're optics ready. $679 is the MSRP on the optics ready version, basically what you see here without the optic on it. The Glock in the Gen 5, which is what's currently available, optics ready, is $750. So the Glock at $750 is more expensive than the optics ready Echelon with the full night sight package. So the Echelon's actually coming in undercutting the price of the Glock in that case. I would actually, if I were shopping now, didn't have any Glocks, wasn't carrying them, wasn't looking for that trigger consistency that I like, and I were shopping today and I picked up a Glock 17 and I picked up the Echelon, I would probably pick the Echelon over the Glock. I'll still probably carry my Glocks because I am used to that trigger consistency, whether I'm carrying, micro compact, full size, or hunting. But if you're shopping today and you're not already invested in Glock or Smith & Wesson or one of the other series, I would say the Echelon beats them both. And of course, Hammer would definitely pick the Springfield. He likes the grip angle of the Springfields over the Glock grip angle, and he's got a lot of track record and experience with the XDMs. One last thing I forgot to mention before I wrap up. The Glock, this is the Echelon magazine, this is the Glock magazine. They both hold 17 rounds in the flush mag. Glock comes with 3. The Springfield comes with one of these, but it also comes with one 20-round magazine. It has kind of an extended base plate on it. And that comes in the box with it, so you get a 17 and a 20. At the moment, those are the only sizes available for the Echelon magazines. The Glocks, there's been enough time out there for them to have a kind of a wide assortment from 24 rounds, 31 rounds, going all the way up to 100. So the Glock has more magazine choices today. I don't expect it to stay that way. Springfield will catch up, and they've already kind of exceeded the factory Glock with the 20 round, but they'll probably build out more capabilities as well. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell to be notified. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Rumble, Player, and Patreon. And thank you.
Down.